I'm making my 3 kids kilts for our first Scottish festival. Great idea. He's finishing up the boys' kilt today. Aside from wrapping the opposite direction, what are some of the differences between a boys' and a girls' kilt that I should consider for making kilts for my girls? So he's got the boys' kilt done. He's going to do the daughters now. What are the differences? How much does he need to worry about? I do not know how old the kids are. I'm assuming they're not.
And he's only saying kilt. He's not saying kilted skirt. He's not saying mini kilt. He's saying kilt.
I'm going to guess they're probably fairly young.
Yeah. I wouldn't worry too much about it either way. Let's start here. Men's kilts. Traditionally, men's kilts open on the right-hand side. You know, on the right leg. Are there examples of men's kilts opening on the left? Yes, the practical Scots, as they were, may reverse aprons if the front apron is worn out and they're using old clothes or handing down a kilt or something like that. But 99.999%, and I'm probably not far off in that number, of kilts designed for men are knee length and they open on the right. When it comes to women's kilted skirts, there is no standard. I would say it's probably 40% open on the right like a man's kilt and 60% open on the other side like a women's, or on the other direction on the left-hand side. So there's no right or wrong answer with women's garments. If you are making knee-length kilts effectively for your kids, I would take it easy on yourself and just make them all the same way. I wouldn't really worry too much about it. The fun fact as well is, especially if your daughter is older, as she outgrows the kilt height-wise, you can maybe pass it down to the son then if you've made it the man's way, meaning opening on the right. So yeah, I wouldn't fuss too much about it. They're kids. They're gonna be, it's a lot more fluid, a lot more flexible with kids' clothes for this stuff versus teenager to adult with this stuff.
So what are the significant differences between a man's kilt and a woman's kilted skirt? Just so you can, because we have run into some interesting situations with that.
Sure. A man's kilt typically has a 2-inch rise, which is the area from the center top buckle to the top of the kilt, where a woman's kilt is typically done tapered all the way up to the top, and the top buckle is on the waistband. Women's kilts open either direction, right or left. Men's almost always open on the right. Women's kilted skirts are typically below the knee, so either like top of calf to even ankle length if you're going to go with a hostess skirt or something like that. The straps themselves are like 3/4 inch wide leather. They are not 1 1/4, 1.5 wide leather. And the other thing that's the most notable difference is a woman's kilted skirt. The depth of the pleats are about half to maybe the same width as the face of the pleat. So it's not a lot of cloth. A traditional man's kilt would be 8 yards of cloth, let's say. A woman's kilted skirt may only be 4 yards, 3 yards maybe. Depends on the size of the individual. So it's the depth of the pleats are extremely shallow, which makes it a real joy and treat to iron those, right, Mac? Because you're ironing a much longer section. You almost have to iron it sideways. Yeah, so those are the main differences between the man and the woman's kilt.
Okay, there you go. If you're in a thrift store and you see something that looks like a kilt and you're tempted to buy it and you're a dude, you might want to think twice.
Yes. It's the
or not.
The depth of the pleats are the dead giveaway. The size of the straps.
I think the size of the straps is
yeah. Those are the 2 dead giveaways.
Conversely, sometimes you'll find a man's kilt in a women's section of a thrift store or something because they don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And that's always funny.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for joining us for this video. If you enjoyed it, please let us know in the comments and be sure to check out our other stuff. If you're looking for more Celtic community and kilted community, you can follow us on Facebook, and more importantly, you can check out the Kilts and Culture Facebook group, where you will find hundreds of other guys who are exploring this stuff and enjoying it and sharing what they're doing. We hope to see you there. Take care.